Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Something is coming, folks. Like the metrics for XRP, some of them anyway, are far out of line with what we would have considered normal just like a week and a half ago. And I keep seeing all sorts of headlines. Like it's like palpable out there. In fact, here I'll just highlight a couple of the headlines even in the intro of the video. Take a look at this one from Investing Haven. XRP is back in business, and it is fundamentally stronger than ever before. Here's one from the Daily Hodl, brand new article. Crypto analyst issues massive price target for XRP as Ripple and SEC ask judge to pick a side. And it just goes on and on and on. Everybody's talking about this, and it makes sense. XRP's been moving up. But I don't pretend to know. Like, you know me, I don't make price predictions. But even setting that aside here, based on what I've seen from the analysts, it's almost like they're evenly split. So right now, like pretty much everybody's expecting some sort of big move. Some think that means that XRP is going to be blasting off into the stratosphere in the short term, and I'll share with you some expected targets from at least one or two analysts. But some think that they agree that yes, something's going to happen here, but they're neutral. Some think, maybe it's going to be a move to the downside here. And so I don't pretend to know what that is, but I do want to share with you opinions on this topic. And I also got the sense from a number of different analysts that if we weren't in the macro environments that we're in right now, with XRP, the things going on and how people are perceiving things in the SEC v. Ripple case, which is probably a factor to some degree in all of this, if macro environment was different, a lot of analysts are saying that they would be much more confident, in terms of a crazy blast off to the upside. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, XRP is just a hair shy of 47 cents. Bitcoin's at $18,814. Market cap for the asset class, $943 billion, and Bitcoin dominance at 38.22%, which is where it's been for most of the last 30 days. Then you got the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 21 out of 100, indicating, of course, a continuation of extreme fear. So that's down 3 points. Yesterday it was at 24 out of 100. And as I've been saying for a number of days in a row now, I think that, if you were just looking at XRP holders, I'm guessing that extreme fear, crypto fear and greed indexes for XRP specifically, if there were one just for that, I'm guessing it wouldn't be quite as low. Here's the 24-hour chart for XRP, so you can see for most of the last 24 hours, it has been hovering more or less around that 50-cent range. Only recently did it start diving downward. And I was watching it like just a little bit before I started recording the video. It was at 48 cents, then it was at 47 cents. Now it's at 46.7 cents. So we'll see. I don't know that means it's going to continue breaking down. I do not know. But you're future people. You know more than me, right? But either way, what's going on with XRP right now, as I cited at the outset of the video, it's peculiar. And not necessarily in a bad way. I mean, I tweeted this out earlier. I wrote, XRP has mostly been trading sideways for a few days now, but the volume is through the roof compared to normal. $600 million or so in 24 hours would be usual, but we're now seeing $2.5 billion. Something is coming. So think about that. 600 million or so, plus or minus a bit, that would be normal if you could just go back even just like a week and a half ago. 600 million, but now it's 2.5 billion at the time I tweeted that out over half a day ago. And you can see even at the time I'm recording this, though, still 24-hour volume, 2.6 billion now. So that's not the norm for XRP right now. And huge spikes in volume, it's just one of the indicators that a big move is likely, because we've been range bound more or less for several days, whatever it's been, and that's typically an indicator that something's going to happen. So I wanted to share with you thoughts from an analyst that was covered in this Daily Hodl article. Again, this one's called Crypto Analyst Issues Massive Price Target for XRP as Ripple and SEC ask judge to pick a side. A closely followed crypto strategist is predicting big rallies for XRP as the legal battle between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission heats up. The SEC sued Ripple in late 2020 under allegations that it issued XRP as an unregistered security. In a new strategy session, Don Alt says that XRP could pull off a massive rally if Ripple wins the lawsuit against the SEC. And here's a quote from him. In general, I would like to hold this until the SEC news gets hotter because that's kind of the narrative it has. And that's one of the factors in me wanting to buy this thing and me actually looking at it for so long. If they win the trial, I think it's just going to gigamoon, basically. If that goes, a lot of people will buy back in. I will sell into that pump if I get it. If Bitcoin was looking solid into $21,000, was just chilling, I would just hold this to $1, if not $2 or $3. So that's the quote. So he's anticipating, as a result of that, could get up back into the all-time high range. Well, look, if there's clarity, I'm not saying it would go up in a straight line, but at some point, and there are a lot of factors, that's why I know the macroeconomic environment isn't so good. It's looking like we're in bear territory. Things could get worse, including for equities, and crypto just follows what's happening in the stock market. I get all that. But, the idea of this thing settling and, going to $1 or $2 or $3, well, it doesn't sound crazy, but it sounds a little low, doesn't it? But again, I think about that, I'm like, it kind of depends, though. Where are we going to be? Like, when this thing's, like, if there's settlement or if there's full adjudication of this, it depends on the timing and what markets are looking like. But with things being so negative, not just XRP is looking fantastic compared to everything else, especially. It just makes you wonder what's actually going to happen there. And so this, I'm not the only one that's asking that question, but let me go a little bit further in this article. From a technical perspective, Don Alt says that XRP is currently hovering close to a resistance level, but says the top altcoin could still go higher depending on how the Ripple lawsuit plays out. So I'll just pause and note, now he's talking about more so in the short term. And here's another quote from him. I think at this level, you either sell here at 50 cents, or if you don't sell here, I think you target 90 cents. I think those are the realistic targets. If you get positive news on the SEC trial, you just don't want to be selling. You want to be selling into very high price levels or until the momentum dries up, which I don't think will happen anytime soon, end quote. Yeah, and so for some people who are traders, stuff like that could make sense. None of the price levels discussed in this article would result in me selling a single XRP. I don't know I haven't firmly decided exactly when I'd first be willing to sell, but we need to be past the all-time high and approaching close to $5. That's what I'm feeling like right now. And if my mind changes, I'll be happy to articulate that in the future, and I'll be happy to share when I do for the first time ever sell my XRP. But no, those price levels sure as hell aren't going to do it. Because even though it's reasonable to suspect that if you jump up a few bucks, even after settlement, maybe it does go back down. But if I sold some of it, even at $3, I would not sleep well at night. I really wouldn't, because I'd be like, to what degree am I opening myself up to the opportunity that it blasts off higher, and that's below what I've been targeting for like the last almost 5 years? Because my whole deal has been, even though I admit, like I said, not firmly set, but I've been thinking, gotta at least to start selling, get closer to that $5 range and start scaling out at the, somewhere it's above that interest price discovery. But the idea that, it gets up to 3 and then I'm going to take some profit and then hope it drops and then buy back it. No, I don't do that crap. I do not do that. So it's not like that wouldn't actually change my mind. Until it gets to that price level, I'm not selling a single XRP. That's just me personally. I know a lot of people, and that's fine. I'm not telling anybody to buy or sell or hold. I just think it's fun to talk about this stuff. So that's the way that I'm looking at it. But he does think, again, in the short term, though, he's another analyst that does think you could see up in that 90-cent region in the short term. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it is possible. Here's chart analyst Harry at Geraldo XRP, who is very well known for having called the beginning of the biggest XRP bull run in history in late 2017, and he also called the very tippy top in the early part of January 2018. January 4th 2018 was the actual top when XRP hit its all-time high, which still stands as the record today. Well, he thinks that more likely than that, we're going to see movement to the upside. And he wrote, XRP does not feel like the appetite was or is there to take it lower just yet. I think longs have eyes on 71 cents for now. That's my target LFG, which of course is let's expletive go. And so so I'm just highlighting some. By the way, there are a lot more analysts I could be highlighting, but it'll just start to get repetitive, so I just picked a few. Now here's Leb Crypto, who did call this latest surge to the upside when XRP was around 32 cents and then rocketed up to 55 cents. He is one of the analysts that called this. But and so he's pro XRP, but he is a bit concerned given the macro environment. And so he shared the chart that's on your screen. It's an XRP USD chart, and he wrote the following: if we were in bullish risk-on macroeconomic conditions, I would have posted this with high conviction. I'm still posting it, but only for showing what I think we should not expect over the coming year or so. Sure, winning the case may offer a 2 to 3x pump, but that's it, in my opinion, hashtag XRP. So in terms of, in this environment, if Ripple wins, so whether that's settlement or full adjudication, over that roughly that time period, he's in the camp of the other chart analyst, Don Alt, saying, this is small. And in this case, so if it's around 50 cents, he's talking about more like $1.50. Well, that's in the realm of what Don Alt was saying too. So these particular analysts, given the environment in particular, don't think that this is going to result necessarily quite in a new all-time high. And not that, look, in Love Crypto, he's been very clear. He does think that, you can see that, $8 to $10, $12 XRP. He's talking about ranges around there. So not that it can't happen, but he's just saying with the environment being what it is, should we actually expect that over this particular time period? He doesn't seem to think that that's likely. And in terms of the short term, and I covered this in another video, but he shared his perspective that to him, it's like a 50-50 bet in terms of whether we got a blast off to the upside in the short term to higher levels or to the downside. But either way, like I said, there's so much volume here that's very frequently an indicator that we're going to see something. And you can see the triangle that he put on the screen right here. We're reaching a point where, something's going to happen. But again, with the volume being what it is literally right now, it just makes me wonder, because there's a lot of trading right now, and even with a ton of volume, it's still mostly been going sideways for the last several days. We're talking billions of dollars of volume per day. That's a big move to the upside. So we'll just keep watching it. But either way, so I hope this didn't sound like too much of a downer thing, because like I don't look at this as having changed, for me at least, my plans. This doesn't make me feel sad. It's neat to see that we've gotten up as high as we are while the rest of the market's just, crash into the downside. The potential, the opportunity, it's still there. It's just like the macro environment is what it is, and nothing goes up in a straight line forever, and bear markets are a real thing. It doesn't mean that there's not way, way, way more opportunity in the future. But you can see what he was targeting up here on this chart. It was $8.53. And so he's saying, under different circumstances, that would be much more plausible to him. It's just with things being what they are right now, he's not confident. Well, you let me know what you think in the comment section below, but I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.